Hello everyone, welcome to GrapplTech. We are happy to announce that we are launching a UI/UX design bootcamp where we'll be learning Penpot and other relevant tools. First, let us understand the difference between UI and UX because many people get confused with these two terms like what is UI and what is UX, whether both are same or not in this way. So UI stands for user interface, whereas UX stands for user experience. And these two are the fundamental aspects of any design. And they do have their own roles and objectives. So UI refers to the visual elements like interactive features of a product, such as buttons, icons, and layouts. In total, we can say that it's all about the look and feel of the product. See, whenever you are opening a web application or a website, or if you are using any application on your phone, okay, so the look and the feel which is given by the particular product is completely dependent on user interface. So let's think about an application or a contact form in a website. So they will have that submit button, right? When you're trying to send your details, you'll have a submit button, and the color of the submit button, the size of it, and the font used in it, and the shape of the button, as well as its placement on the website. All these things will be handled by user interface, that is UI designer. Whereas you can consider in an e-commerce website we have navbar, right? So the menu items, the icons used, and the drop downs used, and even how they look and how they respond to the user interaction, like hover effects. If you hover on that particular link, the changing the background and the clicks, all these things will be handled by user interface. That means UI designers. Whereas UX, on the other hand, focuses on the overall experience of a user, as with the product, ensuring it is intuitive, efficient, and enjoyable. That means whenever a user is using your application, whether he is enjoying the product or not, like whether he's getting motivated in still using the application or not, and the customer satisfaction, the user satisfaction is prioritized highly in user experience. And even the troubleshooting issues also will be handled by the UX people. So let us consider for an example, we have online shopping checkout process. Like means how means if you have Amazon or Flipkart, if you're trying to purchase an item, so how easy and intuitive it is to add items to the cart and proceed to checkout, fill out the shipping and payment information and complete the purchase. So these aspects will be covered under user experience. So ensuring the user feels comfortable and confident throughout the process. Or you can have one more example like mobile banking application like Phone Pay or Google Pay. If you're trying to transfer money to any other people using these kind of mobile banking apps, so the overall flow from logging into the application and confirming the transaction, so this includes how quickly the app responds, how easy it is to find and use the transfer feature, and the clarity of instructions, and even the feedback, like feedback means such as confirmation messages. So all these aspects will be covered by user experience. Still, to be more clear, we'll have a look into it. Like, see, UI design is a process of designing the visual elements of a digital product or system. That means the typography used, the colors palettes used, the icons, and the interactive elements like buttons or anchor tags, that means links that users interact with. So, all these things will be included in user interface design. The main primary goal of UI design is to create an pleasing and intuitive interface which enhances users' interaction with the product. So the look and the feel is dependent on user interface. And what about user experience? This is a process of creating products that provide meaningful and relevant experiences to the users. So it involves understanding the user's behavior and users' needs and motivations to design interactions that are intuitive, efficient, and enjoyable. So the main primary goal of UX design is to improve the overall satisfaction and usability of a product. So think of a mobile app. So UX design help decide what features or what things would be in that product and how they work and how you feel while you are using them. Whereas UI design will think about how things look as you are using them, how much space should be there between the elements, and how they are laid out. That means the layout handled for the whole website will be considered under UI design, and where to put things so it's easy for user to click on. So these kind of aspects will be covered under user interface. And UX will answer some of your questions like where are you, and what is your motivation, and how you feel when using the applications. Whereas UI will mainly focus on visual appearance and interactions. Now, what is the exact work they do? Like when it comes to user experience, they start with understanding people, like they will interact with the customers, and they'll do some kind of concepting, and they'll organize some workshops. So for example, let us consider a music player like Amazon Music, and how many songs should be in a playlist, how should a playlist look like. All these things will be handled by UX people, and they will have a big picture of the problem they are working on, and they will work maximum with the people. And the prerequisite skills are like they should have listening skills, observation, and patience, or the main prerequisites if you want to become a UX designer. Whereas when it comes to the exact work for a UI designer is they will create some clear visual representation of all these things which was handled by UX people, like concepts and ideas. Like for example, in the same application like Amazon Music, the play pause button, and when a song is getting played, the highlighting of that particular song in the playlist. So all these things will be handled by UI people. Other than this, they will even focus on the typographies used, that means the font families and their weight, and the colors, style and branding, and the spacing between the elements, and the boldness of the items, and total number of items which has to be placed in that particular website, and the icons and images. So these things will be considered under user interface. And maximum they will work on their own, and they'll put final finishing touches to any product, and they mainly focus on visuals. So these are the main uh, like differences between user interface and user experience. Let us understand some of the key aspects of UI. That means, see, with the very first thing is visual design. So the look and feel of the interface, including the color schemes, typographies, and the imagery, like the images which you are using in that particular website, are they relevant to the business which you are trying to develop the website for or not. So all these things will be considered under visual design. Whereas interactive elements like buttons, icons, sliders, and other elements that users interact with, and the layout. See, sometimes what happens is even a website is visually appealing, sometimes the arrangement between the elements might miss, by which user will get dissatisfied by using that website. Okay, so the arrangement of visual elements on the screen will create a coherent and user-friendly interface also, and the consistency, which will ensure a uniform design language across all the screens and components of your web application. Then, what are the key aspects of UX? The very first thing is user research. Before even launching the product, we have to know, or we should be aware of the target audience which our product will target. Okay, like this can be done using methods like interviews, like user interviews, surveys, and usability testing. And the information architecture. See, you might have tons of information on your website, but they have to be organized and structured in a way that is logical and easy to navigate. Even, see, sometimes what happens means we will be putting some unrelevant information in a place where it is not needed. So these kind of things will be handled, and they will be resolved by UX people. Whereas interaction design, see, designing how users interact, starting from finding the product and using till the end. That means the user workflows, task flows, and the user journeys, how they'll find product, whether they will find the product usable or not, or is the product efficient for these people or not. So these kind of things will also be designed by UX designers. And the usability, so the product which we are developing has to be very easy, and it has to meet the needs of user efficiently. Okay, suppose let us consider a login page. Okay, if you're trying to take each and every information from the user, like his date of birth, his place, his gender, which is not required. See, the onboarding process has to be easy, right? Just taking an email ID and the password from the user will be more than sufficient. So these kind of things will be handled by UX people. Whereas accessibility, the product, whatever it is, so each and every product has to be accessible to each and every user, even with the users with disabilities also. So designing for users with a wide range of abilities and ensuring the product can be used by everyone are the key aspect of UX. So these are some of the key aspects of UI and UX. Then let us consider a real world example, like let us consider Instagram. Okay, the colors used in Instagram application and the button shapes and the typographies used, all these things will be handled by user interface. They come under user interface. Okay, whereas posting pictures using the application or trying to message to other people, whether this process is easy or not, and whether you are able to find new content easily or not. So these kind of things will be handled by user experience designers, that is UX people. So these are some of the real world examples. So in short, we can say that the visuals, the look and feel will be given by the UI, whereas the experience, like posting pictures, messaging to others, and the login onboarding process. So these kind of things, like this kind of experiences will be handled by UX. So these are the major differences between UI and UX. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel. Thanks, thanks for watching.